Thank you. I am Croatian.
Yeah.
Now, a few of you out there that know me are probably sitting there thinking to yourself, son of a bitch, Brano's still Croatian. It's very admirable. Now, a lot of people don't know much about Croatia. Croatians are traditional people. Women, they take care of the kids and the house. And men, they provide. And they take care of other men's women. Now, in America, that's considered sexist. But to a Croatian redneck, it's a compliment. So ladies out there, if you ever run into one of these Croatian rednecks and you call him a sexist, chances are what you'll get is, thank you. I like to do sex. I do everybody. I do your whole family too. I do your doggy, everybody. See, Russia had Ivan the Terrible. Croatia has Ivan the Sexist. Thank you. When my brother and I were born, our parents gave us each a name, Branislav and Stanislav. That's also another tradition in Croatia. When a child is born, you give it a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my parents were a perfect fit. My dad was a man of very few words, but my mother more than made up for it. And she used to say, I speak very little English. And my dad would look at her and he'd say, oh, I previše, which means way too much English. And when we moved to Canada in '73, our family, none of us spoke any English. And because I was the youngest, you automatically get, I picked it up real quick, so you automatically get designated as a translator, right? So one day my dad calls me in. Now, if you didn't materialize in front of him immediately, what you get is a Croatian mumble, right? And so I ran over. And he says to me, he says, Moram doktoru, ti prevodi. I have to go see a doctor, you have to translate. And I said, I was a curious kid, and I said, well, why? And he says, Zato, because I said so. And I said, well, why me? And he says, because you're smart. My dad had prostate issues. And so, always right. 15 years old, we go walk into the doctor's office, and the doctor's sitting there, and he's taking his notes, and he says, how old is your dad? And I said, 55. And he says, does he have any pains, aches, or complaints? I said, no. The only thing he complains about sometimes is my mother's English. But as now it's fine. He said, all right, okay, is he sexually active? We never, ever talked about sex in that household. And so I'm 15, I'm also thinking about, but I know I have to translate because the doctor, it's imperative that I have to translate. I turned to him and I said, Pita jesili seksualno aktivan, right? What I said, well, a little here and there. And the doctor says, okay, all right, how many times a week? Now that I think back, what I should have said to him was, is that including your wife? Well, yeah. The hell with him. 15 years old, what the hell? And so what do? You turn around and I said, Pita koliko puta. He says, I said, well, maybe a couple of times. And he says, all right, well, and so he asked a couple of more questions and all this, and so it's just awkward for 15 years. So we're walking out, and on the way out, I'm thinking to myself, you know what, now that we cracked the ice about the sex, maybe the old Pops and I should get a couple of beers and a hooker. Thank you, that's me.